Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will be making I'll be starting a tutorial series. I've started my survival series tutorials, but I want to make an all-around tutorial series for people to come back to and use again and again for any project they might be working on. This is strictly going to be based off of Game Creator 2 and probably a couple Cinti assets in some videos. Most videos will probably just be using Game Creator 2. So let's get into it. So this first video is going to be just an initial setup. I have one of these already, but that was more directed towards a survival game. This one's just going to be setting up Game Creator 2, installing, and just looking at what it has to offer. Alright, so first of all, I have a main layout. I'm going to switch to my main layout. So if you're brand new to Unity, follow along. If not, you can skip ahead, but I'm going to switch to my main layout. I'm going to find, before I install anything, I'm going to switch my build settings over to Android. I designed for Android, so I'm going to do that first because the more things you have installed, the longer it takes to do this. And there's also another thing. This is optional, but if you go into your project settings, there's an option here that you can change to make download times faster. I believe that is... where is that? It's somewhere... oh, the color space gamma. If you change that to linear, you'll probably get faster download times as well. I'm not going to do that yet. So, anyways, first things first, I am going to install Game Creator because that's our go-to. That's what my channel will survive off of right now. I have too many assets to look through, so I'm just going to type it in. Game Creator 2. I'm going to import it. And in my last video, my initial setup video, I never showed this process, so I'll show you, you're going to install and upgrade, not skip. So we're going to install upgrade. And after this, it's going to ask you to change your input system. If you click yes, it's going to restart Unity, and then you have to reinstall Game Creator 2 again, but that's what we're going to go for. Just a nice safe install. Yes. It's going to ask me to import and then close on me. Okay. So yeah, this was the survival series I was showing you guys. This is going to be my new YouTube tutorial series. I'm working on this Endless Runner game right now. My girlfriend actually requested that I made this because that's all she plays on her phone is Endless Runner, so I thought I would make her one. And it's actually going along really well. I'll probably be showcasing it in some future videos. This one here, this is my very first game. I've managed to publish this to Android Store, or Google Play Store. So if you're looking for it, it's called Survival Quest. It's probably within the top 10 games that are called that, so it's posted under the same YouTube username, Just Do It. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. It's not a good game by any means, but it's my very first game, and I'm proud of it. Alright. So, we're going to find Game Creator again, now that we've reset our input system. Game Creator, import, and yes, we're going to install new packages one more time. Install, import, and that is basically it for a Game Creator to install. When it first came out, I got confused between the options and I'd always install it wrong, but this is how you do it from the start, right out the get-go. And I believe I can record longer than 15 minutes now, so I'm going to test that in this video, and hopefully I can get some 30-minute tutorials and load a lot more information per video. Okay, so Game Creator 2. What do we got? Now that we have it installed, it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's gonna make your life a hell of a lot easier. Visual scripting and pre-built, like, you know, character animations and different input systems, cameras, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to show you guys that. I'm going to start off by just creating a plane or something, and we're going to scale this up quite a bit. Just something to walk around on for now. And that is a really bright color. I'm going to change that. Something that's a little less. There, that's better. Alright, so if we want to get started on Game Creator, first thing we're going to do, well, first thing I like to do is I like to get my character going, just right off the bat. So I'm going to go create a new Game Creator Characters Player. Alright, so here's my player, and if we were to hit play right now, it wouldn't work exactly how we want it. We haven't set a camera angle, so the camera's static, but automatically he comes with WASD controls, which is awesome. Notice a little delay in it sometimes. That's due to the acceleration. So first of all, let's add a camera. Game Creator, Cameras, Camera Shot. Camera shots lets us choose different types of cameras. So here we can go first person. Try that out. And look at that. We got a first person camera. It's a little buggy. You gotta change some settings. Like, I'm walking backwards now and you can see them. If you're using first person, I highly recommend the camera rotation rotate towards the character's direction. So what I mean by that, you walk backwards like this. Your guy is not turn around walking, he's actually walking backwards. Let's see, they got a third person. This one works pretty good right off the start. Alright. Pretty cool stuff here. You can, and like, you're clipping through the floor and stuff, you can just change all that in the camera settings. And my personal favorite is the follow target one. And all these camera shots, they're adjustables, but this one I think works the best. I like top-down games, isometric style. Grew up on Diablo, so. And I'll show you here, real time you can just change. So if you were under camera shot, you can change like the angle, so 7, -7, that's more of a Diablo feel. Or if you want to get close in, 2, -2, maybe -4, almost a third person. Alright, so that's pretty much like character movement and camera shots. That's, you know, you want to get your game up and running within minutes, that's just how you do it. Alright. I'm going to show you what I was talking about for, well, I'll do the third person one real quick, because I know when I first learned this I was having troubles with it, but if I were to go in third person, I'm going to go into camera now, and I'm going to turn off clipping. Okay, so now when I play, we won't be looking through walls or grounds, the camera will just zoom in towards the player. See? Which is a huge win. Also, I'm gonna rotate, so I'm gonna make it feel like I don't know, like some kind of third-person shooter game now. So when you rotate your mouse, your character rotates with it. So under player, you're gonna see a rotation. You're gonna click on this where it says pivot, and you're gonna go towards maybe object direction. and then main camera. Let's see how that works. Yeah, so now you turn with the camera. So if you were playing some kind of third-person shooter where your gun's always out, this is what you would want. Same goes with first person. This is a must-have for first-person game. Let's see. So now when I walk backwards, you can see my body isn't turning around in that shadow. Now the camera's still off. There's definitely some fine-tuning involved in this. So if I were to, let's see, you can set offsets, pitches, head bobbing, all sorts of options. Let's see if I can't promise you I'll find a good one, but if we were to change the camera FOV first of all, maybe to something like 80, we'd start noticing some changes. Okay, and then we're going to want to raise that as well. So the camera shot, if I were to, no, that's the wrong way. I don't know what I'm, okay, 0.2. I need to be able to see my legs to even consider doing that. Uh-oh. Alright, so I'm looking down now. FOV back to 80. See if I can get some good settings for you guys in case you are interested in first person. Alright. No, we want that back where it was. Not sure what that one does. Or that one. Oh dear. Alright, well, I will learn that another time, and I will give you guys the perfect first-person settings, but it's all there. If you got to adjust it yourself. Might be easier without head bobbing and stuff to see where your camera is. So yeah, that's how you set different camera angles, and yeah. So what do we got next? I'm going to show you guys some basic visual scripting. These methods apply with almost anything. It is so easy on Game Creator, it's amazing. So I'm just going to create a canvas because I want some buttons and stuff. So I'm going to create a UI canvas. Automatically there's an event system with the old input. So we reinstalled Unity for the new input, so we're going to replace it with the new input. And don't ask me what it means, it works better when you turn it on. Alright, and if you're fairly new to game development, I highly recommend making some dividers. Keep your game organized. There's nothing worse than an unorganized hierarchy. You'll lose everything. Alright, so for canvas, automatically you want to create a panel. Go into game view, you can see that panel. Because I'm on Android, I'm going to design for Android size phones. So you notice this white glare on the panel, that's due to the opacity of the color. I'm going to change that all the way down. And under panel, I'm going to create an empty, I'm going to call this just controls. So again, like I said, I'm designing for Android, so if you are too, then you're going to follow along with me here. First of all, we're going to change our camera shot back to follow. And I'm going to go, yeah, something like 7 and 7 for the angle. And then the player movement. So there's different types of movements here. If you plan on designing for computers, consoles, phones, it's all here. So you're going to click on player, input move. There's all sorts of stuff. You got keyboard, keyboard, arrow keys, WASD, mobile. That's how I'm going to use left stick for mine, but There's also mouse point and click, like Diablo or Warcraft or anything. Usage, these can be used with gamepads and stuff. As you can see in the bottom here, there's the description. There's all sorts of movement options, but for now I'm going to stick to left stick mobile, and I'll show you that here in a second. There we go. So now I have mobile movement. I'm going to fix my character rotation back to pivot as well. Player, rotation, pivot. Alright, so now that we have that, I've created a control under panel, but there's nothing visible there. I'm going to create an empty under controls, call it, actually not an empty, I'm going to make an image. UI image, and we're going to say button 1. Alright, I'm going to make that black, 100 for a slick look. And I'm going to make it more of a circle. I'm going to scale it up 300, 300, no, 200, 200. Alright. I'm going to move that over here as if it were mobile controls. Alright, so that's button 1. Under button 1, I'm going to create a real button, because that's technically not a button. That's like the background of a button. So I'm going to go create game creator, UI. I'm going to do button text mesh pro, just to download text mesh pro. You don't even need to use it if you don't want, but it's good to have it. In case you do have text in your game, it will make it look a lot better. Alright, so that button's created. I'm going to drag and drop that button under button 1. I'm going to reset the values so it lands on top of it, just like that. I'm going to change it to the same size and the same, not the exact same image. I'm going to use this one just so you can, okay, never mind. I'm going to use the same image. I'm going to change the opacity down to 100 as well. I'm going to scale it down just a little bit so you can see the background underneath. Maybe a 200 opacity. And the text mesh, normally you wouldn't have text inside your button, but because I haven't downloaded any other asset packs or icon packs or anything, I'm going to leave the button there with a description of what it does. So this button, this will be our, maybe we can toggle between walking or running or jumping or even, I don't know. We'll call it button 1 for now. Button 1. I'm going to scale that up. Alright, so this button, Game Creator has very, very simple visual scripting. It's all done on here. There's no separate tab you gotta open. It's all done in your inspector. That's why I love it so much. It's so easy. So, if you want to get going for the button, it's the add instruction option here. So you're going to add instruction, and basically whatever you can think of. So what I was thinking of, maybe I'll get my character to jump. So I'm going to go character properties, not can jump, but jump. So I'm going to actually just look that up. I'm going to just type in jump. Yeah, there's jump right there. Alright, so now that's a jump button, I believe. Let's test it. Look at that. Nice little jump. And with Game Creator, you can also customize your jumps. So if you go under player again, you're going to find motion, not motion, jump. So jump force 5, jump cooldown half a second. Let's try jump force 10. Notice how the jump is way longer, and you can go way further with it. So it's all about, you know, customizing little settings like this. The gravity as well affects it. I'm going to turn acceleration off as well. I don't like the acceleration. And that doesn't even have to be a jump button. You can, if you have animation packs, you can, look at this. Instead of playing a jump, you can get rid of that. You can play gesture. So if you hit gesture, play gesture, drag and drop any animation in there you want. See if I have any that comes with Game Creator too. Doesn't look like it. Maybe? Actions, here we go. Scroll this up so we can see it. Oh, look at that. We'll do that. Button. So we're going to play this gesture. Actually, there's a difference between gestures and, say, like a movement. So what I just saw is a dash. Like some kind of roll or evade button. So instead of playing a gesture for like a normal animation like eating or something, we are instead going to hit dash, because dashes will play an animation, but it will also move you a certain speed and distance. So if you're making like a Souls-like game where you got to dodge and whatnot, you want dashes, not animations. See? And then you have the options to go backwards. It's hard to test mobile and move backwards and hit a button at the same time, because you gotta do this and you can't do that. So if you're testing stuff like that, I recommend going back to WASD controls just for test purposes. That's all in here. I know what it will look like anyway. It will be a backwards roll going backwards while I'm rolling forward. It wouldn't look good. You want animations for all directions. But yeah, that's basic. You know, adding buttons for mobile controls, or even you can turn that, pretend this is like a pause menu button up here. Let's do that. I'll show you how to make a basic menu as well. So we're just going to move this up here. And probably the most useful thing about this under buttons is, or not just buttons, anything about Game Creator visual scripting is the set active. Set active is so handy. So you click that button, you can set active something in your hierarchy. So what I was planning on doing is I was going to create a new thing under here called menu. This menu, black of course, 100. Let's go 1000 and 1000. Let's pretend this is some kind of main menu or options menu. So I'm gonna make it like a drop down menu if you were to hit that button. So when you hit this button, I'm gonna duplicate this button too, to be honest. So there's two buttons on top of each other. They're going to do almost the same thing. I'm going to set the second one inactive because that's going to be our close menu button. So, when you press this button, you're going to set active the menu to true. And you're also going to set the other button to true. And at the very end, you're going to set this button, the one that you're working on, to false. Because if this is up here and it's false, it will shut off before it can run these two actions. So you want to make sure it's last so everything can execute the action it's supposed to. So you click the button. Now all of a sudden that goes away and these two come up. Now that this button's up, when you press it, you're going to want to set the original button back to true. You're going to want to turn the menu off. And then you're going to want to set the button that you're working on off. Alright, let's give this a shot. So, you want to quit your game, you want to save, open the menu, quit, or if you decide you don't want to do that anymore, press it again. There you go. Little basic menu. And it doesn't even have to be like, you know, your save game, options, exit game. This could be like something completely different. If you're making like a, I don't know, like a turn-based strategy, and you want to use, and you're in the middle of a battle, this is like, say, your inventory or your skills, you can click on that. Within the menu, you'll have different other buttons that perform different things. So let's do something else in here. I'm going to go Game Creator, UI, Button, Text Mesh Pro again. Drag and drop that under Menu. I'm going to center it out so it's in the menu. And we're going to almost make it the same width as it. I'm going to go 900. Oh, no, it was 750, wasn't it? I'm going to go 700 by 250 by 150. Okay, this button, I'm gonna make it a ragdoll button. Okay, text, ragdoll. Make that nice and big. Button, I'm gonna move the button up. Alright, so this button, when we press it, we are going to ragdoll player. And then after that, we're going to wait seconds. So now we're getting into not just like a basic little button, but now this is turning into a small little script. So as soon as we start adding more instructions and get more complicated with it, you can see how powerful this Game Creator 2 really is. So we're going to start ragdoll. We're going to wait 3 seconds. And then we're going to recover ragdoll on player. Alright. I'm going to shut menu off now, and we're going to test that. Button, so that opens and closes. Ragdoll. Boom. And then I'm back up. So yeah, there's one button there, through another button, to a menu, and the possibilities are endless. If you have the mind to think of what you want to do, you can do it. It's crazy. Let's add something else in there now. Let's add our jump button? No. Well, yeah, sure, might as well. So I'm just going to duplicate button ragdoll. I'm going to move it down a bit. I'm going to rename it button jump. And let's see, under the text too, I'm going to switch that to jump. And we are going to get rid of these, and we're just going to add jump. There, now we have multiple buttons that do different functionalities within a menu that you can open through another button. As you can see, it's already starting to get complicated in a very simple way. Jump, ragdoll, or you can combine them both and jump then ragdoll. There you have it. So that's the very bare bone basics for visual scripting. I will specifically make tutorials for visual scripting, like, you know, you want combat buttons, attacks, basic melee attacks with functional damages and stuff. It's great. It's good stuff. I'm gonna do one more thing and show you how this applies to beyond just menus and little things. I'm gonna make a button that equips a piece of armor. So I'm gonna create a 3D object, a cube, over the player. I'm gonna scale this cube kinda to fit the player as if it were a piece of armor. Alright, so this is my armor. First thing I'm gonna do is take off the collider, because as soon as that activates, it's gonna probably screw up my guy. So yeah, let's pretend this is like a bulletproof vest or something, okay? So I'm just going to set that to inactive. I'm going to turn on my menu. We're going to duplicate, jump, bring it down. We're going to rename it armor. Okay, so on button press, we're going to set active, and we're going to set active our armor. Alright, and not only are we going to do that, but when we have our armor set up, why don't we make another script? So, under the armor itself, I'm going to add a trigger. And we're going to have, there's all sorts of triggers. You can do like trigger on start, you can do trigger if you were to enter a certain area, or if you have a certain tag, like a lot of them under your player, you want to put player tag under player, because a lot of things revolve like on tag enter per se, it automatically starts off. Oh no, it doesn't, but player. So like if a player were to enter something, it knows it's you. You can create new tags like enemies and switch it to enemies. Tags are a big part, but for now we're just going to do on enable, because this armor, it's not equipped off the start, we're actually enabling it, so I'm going to put an enable trigger. So if the armor is enabled, then we can, I don't know, there's so many different things we could do. How about we, what's under game objects? If armor is enabled, then how about we change our speed? So most games you put on armor, you would get more health or more armor, but I don't have Game Creator 2 stats installed for this video, so we're going to change our speed. So I'm going to go to characters, properties, change movement speed, set it to what, like 10? Sure. Alright, so this armor will now give us a boost. So I'm going to hit play. Make sure it works. Boom. I probably should have done speed without it, but already I know this is much faster. Let me do it again without equipping it, and then show you again while equipping it. So this is me moving. Pretty slow. Armor. I'm like the Flash. Oh, and because I ragdolled, the armor didn't stay on, because the armor, when you ragdoll, this separates from this. So you want the armor to be attached to this, and the ragdoll should work. Let's test that one more time. So armor. Jump. And ragdoll. No, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? What got separated? Yeah, it's the mannequin. But the armor is right there. That's another problem for the future, but you can see it comes back anyway. So that's I personally don't use ragdolls for reasons like that. I use animations, death animations, and I know everything will stay on my character anyways. I do it to be safe. Do we have any sounds? Footsteps. Not good enough. Alright, well, that's basically a bare bones of what Game Creator, just some of the things you can do just off the start. It's worth it alone. Not to mention, as soon as you start adding asset packs, with actual objects and items, it's much easier to do it with other stuff. But if you're just going just off Game Creator, I mean, anything is still possible, but it's just hard to showcase when there's no props or anything to do it with. I can't come up with stuff off the top of my head without the props in front of me to give me ideas. So next couple videos I might install one pack per video. I'll probably use free packs so you guys can easily follow along, because I mean Game Creator 2 already was pretty pricey. I think it's like $60, so I don't want you guys to spend more money just to follow along for tutorials. So I'll probably be using free packs to help showcase these. But I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. 35 minutes. I'm hoping this posts. Hopefully I pass my 15-minute time or limits now. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like and a subscribe. I'll definitely be posting more of these videos more frequently instead of the series, because like I work a lot, so for me to come back to a series after a week, it's just hard to pick up where I left off. But if I'm just making tutorial videos on just random things, I'll be able to pump a lot more of these out there, and I don't have to worry about editing and hitting 15-minute limits. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this video here, and hopefully you guys learned something that you didn't before, and we'll get into some more tutorial videos later on. I'm gonna be busy this weekend, so it probably won't be till next week, but this is a start of what's to come. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching. Peace.